Valentino Herrera with Trippy Food, and we're going to make something that I'm really looking forward to, something very special, iguana. Now, I sourced this iguana from Exotic Meats online, and this is a whole skinned, gutted iguana. It's one whole piece. We're going to be cutting that up, and we're going to stew it or roast it. And typically I would want to do it in tomatoes, but I decided I'm going to go Caribbean. So I'm going to use mango instead. And then for texture, I'm going to put some hearts of palm and some chayote squash in it. And then just so that it's not overly sweet, I've got some serrano pepper that I'm going to put in there. And I'm also going to put in hibiscus flower, which I chose because it gives it a little bit of zest. It's almost citrusy, but also because it is the iguana's favorite food. So it'll just bring everything full circle. We're going to cut this up. I'm going to, I don't know if I mentioned the coconut. We're going to do it in mango and coconut. And I think we're going to have an interesting Caribbean flavored treat featuring a Caribbean flavored reptile. It's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy. Look at the size of this thing, man. This is huge. It's like one of those little capsules that you... There we go. It's like one of those little capsules that you put in water and it grows. Look at the size of this thing. Well, that is definitely an iguana, and it's definitely been gutted, so we've been spared the mercy of having to do that ourselves. So that is a pretty big sized iguana. I imagine that their tails are usually twice as long as their bodies, so we would have had more tail on there. And we've also been spared the grief of having to decapitate this. So, I mean, here's the bad boy. This thing is huge. Okay, so I've put all the ingredients in here now. I've seared the meat, and I left that in there. I just used a little bit of garlic with some grapeseed oil. And then I put the spices on there. So I put some Jamaican allspice, some cinnamon, and some cloves. I also put the dried hibiscus that I wanted to put in there. And then what I wanted to give it for texture and other flavor is the mango, the chayote squash, and the hearts of palm. So I've got that in there, and the coconut milk. But the coconut milk is not enough to cover this, and I want to make sure this is covered when we cook it. So I'm going to add a little bit more water here, just enough so that we cover this. And as soon as we bring this to a boil, we'll put the lid on, and then within an hour or so, we're going to be enjoying iguana stew. Here's the stew. I think it came out okay. It looks like the vegetables cooked down, but hopefully they have some texture to it. And the meat looks nice and nicely cooked. And then I did some yucca fries in the front here. So kind of a nice Caribbean meal. So I'm just going to take a piece of this, and I could be polite and use a knife and fork, but I think I'm just going to pick up a piece and eat it. So here we go. Everything that I put in the stew totally works with this. So it flavors, it permeates the meat. We already knew what the meat tasted like from the fried piece that we had, but this, it absorbed everything that was in the broth. It's tender, it's juicy. This is a piece of the tail. Oh man, this is absolutely delicious. The spices are not overpowering. I put a little bit of the serrano pepper in there, so it has a little bit of a spice to it, but it's not crazy. This is absolutely delicious. Oh man, I could eat this all year. This is really good.